Hello, and welcome to podcast number 5 of Let's Be Honest with Danielle and Lana. This podcast, the subject we're going to be speaking on today, is on love, just in time for Valentine's Day. And I know what you're thinking. Maybe you're like me, where you just don't want to hear about how you have to love yourself more this week.
Yes.
I will tell you, we are going to talk about that. I'm sorry, we are, but we're going to talk about it in an honest and authentic and oftentimes humorous way, so it doesn't make us roll our eyes. We are trying something new this week. I feel so grown up. I have all of the... by the way, Lana, I don't think I even said hi to you. That's how distracted I am.
That's all right.
I have my headphones on. I have my big microphone, and it's like there's a little studio going on the third floor of my house right now.
Mm-hmm.
Lana, I really do appreciate you holding my hand until I got here. And my goodness, you are passing me the reins of being in charge of my own podcast, which we're going to talk about this as well. Lana and I have already 4 podcasts, and we are so over the moon with how it's been received. We have almost 500 plays. We have over 80 downloads. But now that the account has been transferred to me, I have to very difficultly let that go and trust in the abundance that I can build that up again.
Through several swear words and crying and...
Yes.
Yes.
It's hard. I'm trying not to be rigid about it and be fear-based, but abundant, and that the followers we've begun to accumulate will just march on over to the new link and follow us and listen and download from there.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the inspiration for this podcast because, we've talked about last week, we ended on accepting people for who they are. And one of the ways we could do that was with gratitude. And I shared with my listeners how I took someone in my life that was causing me a lot of pain, causing me a lot of frustration. And I did this exercise by Laura Doyle, who said, find 22 things that you like about them, that make you happy, that you are grateful for. And I did it out of spite, and I repeated that exercise every day, and lo and behold, I was softer. I wasn't as triggered. I wasn't as angry. It freaking worked. I wasn't expecting it to, but it did. So that's where we ended our last podcast on gratitude. So how fitting that gratitude kind of leads itself into love. So I wanted, I start every subject with a definition. I go just to the regular dictionary to get a basic definition of love. And this is how the dictionary defines it. A feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection as for a parent, child, or friend. A person towards whom love is felt, a beloved person. Profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. So it's kind of all about the other person. But really the only way you can truly love another person is, here it is, folks, by loving yourself.
Oh, God.
I know, there it is again. I know.
Do we have to go there?
We have to go there. I know. So, true love can be defined as the commitment to know, experience, and contribute as deeply as possible to the growth of someone or something. So, how do we apply that to ourselves? There is a difference between true love and false love, which I found a great explanation for on the Huffington Post. Okay, so true love, though, is not an emotion or an attraction. It has nothing to do with safety and acceptance. So false love arises from the fear of lack and the need to receive. True love always arises from gratitude and the determination to give. So actually, true love has nothing to really do with us. In Judaism, in Hebrew, which is the first language of the Bible that you, Lana, your fellow Christian people also have. It's my understanding. You have the first book. So in the book, in the Bible or the Torah, you see the word ahava, which is love, and it's spelled with 3 Hebrew letters. The first is an aleph, and the second 2 are a hey and a vav. And the root of hey and vav is actually the word to give. And aleph is the first letter of the alphabet. So the root of love is to give. It's to give. And we really can't genuinely give to someone else fully if our filter is not clean. And listen, it's not all or nothing, because it's very easy, for example, to give love to your children. It is easy, and it's oftentimes that it's parents who have a much, much more profound love than their children can ever have for them. That's just how it is. And why? Because we give way more to them than they give to us. We don't do love for the sake of getting anything back from our kids. We do it because we want to do it. It's so easy to give to our children. Maybe when it comes to spouses or to colleagues or to friends or siblings, maybe our filter is not as clean. We get stuck because they're more on our field. They're not our children.
Yeah.
So does that make sense, Lana?
It does. And actually, I wanted to point out one thing that I noticed. You had 3 almost very different definitions of love, because the first one from the dictionary, it almost seemed very like a very open definition. Like, I just met somebody today and I have deep affection for them. By that definition, does that mean that I love them? But then when you defined it, true love from the Huffington Post, I noticed the word gratitude popped up.
Yes. And
then when you defined in Hebrew, is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I obviously have I don't have a lot of experience in that area.
Although you just taught me an awesome metaphor that I just used. Baptism by fire, baby. That just really underscores some of my days. So I'm going to use that. Okay. This Jewish girl's going to use that well. Okay.
I use that all the time. It seems that's kind of what I do a lot.
It seems so fitting. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
so
we digress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the third one was to give. So it seems like it almost depends on how you define love in your life. Like, how do you define love? Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many definitions.
There's so many definitions, and it's not even the definition; it's the action. You can define all you want, but are you actually walking the walk? And so why self-love is so important. The simple truth is that we treat others in the same way that we treat ourselves, because we can only give what we have. So what I see love as a means to get approval so that I can feel better about myself. I will see others as objects for whose attention I seek or avoid. So that's not a great way to love.
No.
But when I know that love is the very mechanism of growth, I will forgive myself for my mistakes as one accepts a child's fall as she is learning to walk. With a commitment to learn and develop, I will see myself as I am without the need to condemn or praise. I will view my life as a great gift, an adventure for which I am grateful, and I will embrace my emotions and all of the variety as a part of what it means to be alive. Then I will naturally treat others in this loving way, with compassion, openness, and kindness, and with the commitment to be an agent for their growth. Back to reality, we're not all motherfucking Teresa. I get it. Okay. mean,
I definitely am not. I have so much to go before I'm
yes.
even like remotely close.
Exactly, exactly. And I am too, and I think most of the human race is. But there are moments that I know we've each experienced this true love. When we are in such a place where our confidence is high, we are so forgiving, we take things in stride, we let things roll off our shoulders. It is so easy to love. It's even easy to love our enemies because it's about them. It's not about us. They're not going to affect our high, our good day, our success. So we've all experienced this too. So it's beginning to put attention on, for me, a great barometer is when I am filled with this, it's not a big deal. And everyone makes mistakes. I know that I'm in love. That's a great day. I'm in it. I am Mother Teresa for that hour, that day. And,
Yes.
yeah, and it's easy. It's effortless. It's the way things should be, right? When this becomes more meaningful is when things are not that way. And it's hard to get back to that. If we're having a low day where we're so hard on ourselves, maybe we didn't make the right decision, or we're overthinking, for the perfectionists out there, there's a saying called paralysis of analysis, meaning you just don't act because you want things to be perfect. We're not loving ourselves with that mentality because it means that we have a fear of possibly choosing wrong, so we don't choose anything. Whereas if you come from a place of love, that perfectionism goes right out the door. And you say, well, I get what I get, I do what I do, and if I succeed or fail, that's part of it too. Oh my gosh, that rhymed. That was amazing.
Little Dr. Seuss action happening over there.
Did you see what I did there? Did you see
I
that?
saw what you did there.
So, I'll just share something personal that happened with me this week. We are attempting to refinance our house. I think we actually did refinance our house, if I'm thinking about it, based on the last email. Because the rates are on all-time low, and yet they're changing all the time, and the feds can raise them again, and, so I was told, just like you go to a doctor, you get more than one opinion, so you can make an informed decision, and at the end of the day, it's not personal, it's business, right? So, of course, I made the mistake of going to two personal friends, which I don't recommend to do, because sometimes it can be very difficult to mix a personal friendship, especially if you see them all the time, and you're looking for competitive rates, and you don't want to hurt any people's feelings. So, already, I'm one mark against myself. Okay? So, I already decided to go with two people I admire and I see on a regular basis to ask them for quotes. And one of them I was not expecting at all to work with her. I was just seeing what was out there to bring back to the initial lady I was working with. But lo and behold, the rates had never been lower than they were. And I locked it down. And then, oh my gosh, if you heard the drama in my mind that ensued after that, okay, talk about a sleepless night. And at the end of the day, all I want to do is refinance to pay less a month. But
yes,
I so overcomplicated it. I brought into the fact that I could be hurting someone's feelings. I brought into the fact that my husband maybe doesn't know that I did such a thorough job in researching everything. I'm trying to become an expert in mortgages in one day. And at the end of the day, if I had, in hindsight, not brought so much stress on myself, and not allowed we have to lock now, to not even let that affect me, because again, you want to come from a place of abundance, not pressure, then you can think more clearly.
Yes.
And I would probably feel as bad as I have, because I would realize if they're professional, they know I'm just trying to get the best rates. I don't have to, get their approval, right? There's that word. And that's what got me stuck. That's what got me like a crazy person. So just to start to be aware of that, of where is this energy coming from?
Yes.
Is it coming from pressure? Is it becoming because you want to be liked by someone?